Okay, I don't know. My voice is raspy, so bear with me. I don't normally do my skincare on camera. Excuse me. Other than when I'm showing you my routine or something along those lines. But this morning, if you could just kind of bear with me, there's just a whole lot of things on my mind. I will. I posted some of the clips, but I'll kind of go through and kind of explain what you're looking at um, in some of them. Um, we knew this was a possibility before we chose to go down there. That's part of the reason why we chose to board mayor. Thankfully we did, because you're going to see some of the pictures are, they're hard for me to look at, because flooding is hard anyway. And over the course of years, the area that we are from floods about once a year. Not always as bad, and it was never, hardly ever, our property that was actually involved. My home place is what I mean by our property. It's my mom and dad's property now, but it's been in our family for generations. I've told you that before, but it's my home. Peptide HA serum. I did not do skincare or anything Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. I can't remember what we did Saturday. We kind of rested, I think, and we went, my husband brought Ian back, met my daughter halfway, because Ian had a birthday party to go to. So, let's move on with talking about all of the talking about points, and then we'll get on into the rest of the day. Oh, this feels so good. I should have used a toner, and I didn't. But it's okay. Trying to get a little normal is good. Last year, and I'm going to talk a little beef with what I have with some of the county officials down there, because I could almost 100% tell you that if my dad was still living, it wouldn't be this way. And those people who I'm speaking of, I'm not going to name any names. One day we'll have a conversation. It's just that simple. It won't be ugly, anything like that. It will just simply be a conversation. More of, you might not ought to have done this way. And I know before anybody gets, I know that they had a lot going on. Entire county flooded last year, all that neat stuff. It doesn't make what did not happen right. And what did not happen was repairs. And what is not happening is the company that's doing the logging up on the mountain is not being held accountable to either plant back or something. Looks like a cat out in the snow out in my backyard. We'll get to that too. And because they're not replacing the trees that they're logging, listen to me and understand. What they're doing needs to happen. The mountains haven't been cleaned and logged in decades. So it needs cleaned up. That's just, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be cutting the trees. What I'm saying is that by cutting the trees and not replacing them, and the reason why I don't think that they're replacing them is that you can't see anything that would be holding back the water. So all of the water that was being held back by these trees, the leaves, nature, that barrier is no longer there. So it comes roaring down the side of the mountain, gaining speed as per gravity, because that's how gravity works. And by the time it's hitting the creek, it's hitting it at a rapid pace. Again, there's some clips. You'll see the water running down the road. You'll see the water going by the barn. You may say, why is the barn so small? Well, because we got out of having larger cattle and larger amounts of, by the time that we got around to that barn. We had one horse, and that was all the room that she needed, because she was out in the field most of the time, out in the hayfield. Anyway, the hayfield is flooded so badly, but at the same time, we did see some of our deer, and yes, we call them our deer. They're the neighborhood deer, and we love them. They were, I didn't get to get a picture, but they were, because of the field being so damp, they had come up closer to the house, and they were by the remains. Well, I don't exactly know if you call it the remains. My dad planted a tree when we moved there, and it had to be cut a couple of years ago. My cousins took this stump and made just a decorative flower bed for Mom. I have amazing cousins. All of my cousins are amazing for different things and different reasons. But these take care of my mom, and I don't know what we would do without them, just to be honest with you. And I tell my mother all the time, I said, there is just reel that back in. My mom's 79 years old. There's a tremendous amount. My sister's close too. But there's a tremendous amount of peace whenever your life takes you far away. And all of my adult life, except for a few short years, I've had to be. Hold on, we need to fix that. I've had to be far away. And there's nothing quite as soothing to your mind as hearing XYZ happen, but this person is here. This person is going to take me here. This person is going to do this. You go ahead and, like, for instance, yesterday, there was a couple of things that needed done. And this person called my mom and said, you know, tell them to get on the road because they need to get home. Whatever's left, we'll take care of it. And I can't tell you what a blessing it is, and what a nice thing that it is. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of editing on this video, for the simple reason of I'm just talking. I haven't done this in a while, and I'm just kind of talking to you straight from my heart and straight from. I need some normal, and I've lived through and seen floods way worse. Than, sorry, I just had a message, than what we've just experienced. But the difference is, it is right up, we always knew, my dad always used to say about a tornado or something like that, that if it got up in the mountains, you know, because we are in between 3 mountains, that if it got in between those mountains, that it would destroy everything, because there would be nowhere for it to theoretically go. And we're seeing what he was talking about come to pass, not in the form of a tornado, but in the form of the water. Last year, it was also awful, and last year never got cleaned up. The county part, we paid for the part that, you know, for our part, but the county never did their job. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but it's the truth. So, and yes, again, I know they had a lot to clean up, but at the same time, my father has been gone for almost 9 years, and for that duration of time, things have needed to be done that I can't get done. We've got county workers that can't seem to, that don't know the roads in the county. How are you on the road crew and you don't know the roads? Help me with that, somebody, please. Anyway, let me put on a little bit of this stuff. If you do nothing else of the skin routine, this inexpensive, fantastic, absolutely I enjoyed being away, but I have missed sitting at my dresser or at my vanity and smooshing on stuff. And I will tell you, I'll post the video, and I would post a video of unpacking, except for to tell you what I used and what I didn't use. It's real simple. I used my toothbrush. No skincare really happened. No makeup happened. In this flood, also, and this didn't just affect our family, at least two, my friend that I told you about, our family friend, more my mother's friend, her visitation was scheduled for Saturday, and her funeral was scheduled. Oh, I know what the deal was. It started flooding Saturday. Her visitation was Saturday, and her funeral was supposed to be Sunday. The road, the entire road to get to the cemetery where she's to be interred, was covered. There was absolutely no way that, and I honestly don't know. Her services are to be at a later date, and I honestly don't know when they're going to be able to actually bury her, because the ground is so saturated. I don't know how long it's going to take for that to, how long it's going to take for that to become safe, because it is a cemetery, and there are several other graves, and you have to be careful with that stuff. But anyway, I'm going to, a couple of the clips that you'll see, there's a lot of water directly going up a hill, and then you'll see the barn and the water around the barn. By the time we left, a lot of that had gone down some. It down the road around one of my friend's houses, it just a flash, boom. He absolutely, it didn't get in his house, but it came really close, really scary close. So there are a lot of people. There are people in Virginia, West Virginia, other parts of Kentucky that seen more water, seen more damage than I did. Stivers Homestead put up a video. I saw it yesterday. They are just down the road from my home place. So you can watch that video and get more of an idea of what all we have to deal with, and going forward what we have to deal with. And I think there's other channels. I'm not sure if Rabbit's in Kentucky or not, but I subbed to her the other day, and she was having flooding as well. It's just a mess. And lastly, Sunday morning, Poe died. And we had talked about this, I think, before. He perked up, and then he started to go downhill a little bit. We knew that it was coming time. We just kind of thought, like with everything else, you always think there's more time. And my daughter was here, and we went to take care of the things that we needed to take care of. And we had made an appointment for Tuesday with the knowledge that, if he made it till Tuesday, that would probably be his last day. And um, part of me thinks that I should have gone ahead and taken him in Friday so that I could have physically been with him. The other part of me is glad that I stuck with my decision because my daughter could have taken him. But I stuck with my decision and let him pass on his own terms. And that is comforting to me because to me, in his situation, he wasn't suffering, he was dying. Um, and I thought back and I was telling my mom when we lost our Cooper so many years ago, he died here. He died at home. And his death was very peaceful. When we had to put Cinda down, there was nothing peaceful to that except for we ended her suffering. Um, we literally, putting her in the car, taking her to the vet, stressing her out, only to humanely euthanize her. In her case, it needed to be done, but I still just and with Gabriel, it had to be done. But if I don't have to, I prefer to let nature take its course because that's in my mind that's how it should be. And so sometime after 5:30, I checked. I have cameras that stay on the animals, and my daughter had hooked up the camera where I could see Poe, and I watched him several times, and she had him several times, and um, sometime after about 5:30, I think was the last time she said she had him out. That Sunday morning, sometime after that, in that time frame, uh, while we were sleeping, he decided it was time to go. And I had told him earlier in the week that it was okay. Um, did I want him to go? No. Was it time? Yeah. And so it didn't really, and it hasn't full on hit. Um, this morning when I was feeding, usually when I went upstairs, he was a very vocal cat, so he would say good morning, feed me, um, and when that didn't happen, the emptiness and the quietness was really hard. And so yeah, it's been a very emotional few days. I have my skincare on, and thank you for listening. None of this has been easy. None of it. We are we have snow coming in. We have another snowstorm on the way. Um, the other part of the state where my heart is not completely out of danger, but I know that there are people that can get to my mother and that will take care of her. And that's an incredible thing to know. It's such a blessing to have good people around you. And the other thing that we were able to do, we took one of the ATVs down to keep at my mom's. Um, kind of makes this not look like a used car lot as much. Um, and it gives us, we have the camel Eiger that has it has the snow blade on it right now, but it's also the one that is easier to use um, for working in the yard, working in the garden, all that neato stuff. And it's the one that we are used to riding when we ride, and we have the side by side for riding. So come March, there'll be some riding. Anyway, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to work on. I emptied one of my containers of protein powder, and it was one of the veggie protein powders. And people, if you can drink this, my hat's off to you. I have to literally choke it down. To me, it's the nastiest stuff ever. But anyway, we're going to do this. We're going to get into devotionals. We're going to put some makeup on my face and get some normal. Y'all have a good day. Remember, I'm the mayor's daughter, and I love y'all oh so very much. See ya in the next video.